Welcome to KGPT's Wichita's Biz That Is. I'm Tim Witzman, president of the Wichita Independent Business Association, and today I know we're going to have fun, and I know we're going to have energy because our guest radiates energy, and it's Sharon Van Horn. Now, are you the owner of Ray Event and Tent?
We actually, Melissa and I are the managers. We run it.
Managers.
We run the company.
Okay. Very good. I like to start with sort of where you came from, and people are interested. Give me the background. Tell me about Sharon.
Well, I have been in sales and marketing and event management for my entire career, as has Melissa, and we have been great friends for 20 years and have talked about doing something together someday. So about a year and a half ago, I was reading Carrie Ringer's column and saw that Ray Party Rental at that point was for sale. So we said, gosh, we've done this our whole life on the other side of the table. Let's see what it's like if we're running it. So from that sales and marketing background and event management, we have been able to bring those skills now to having our company.
But I want to go back even farther.
Even farther, okay.
Are you originally from Wichita?
Yes, I grew up here, went to Friends University, have worked at local advertising agencies, was the marketing director for both Channel 3 and Channel 12. So have been in the Wichita media community forever. I've sold radio and TV and print. Said I had to have my own company because I'd worked for everybody else.
Yeah, pretty soon you run out.
I know. It's like, haven't you been here before?
Well, when you were in school, what is it you were shooting to do?
I went back to school later. I didn't go right out after high school, and actually my first advertising job was with John Beach at Associated Advertising, and I can remember Mike Oatman coming and calling on us, and I just thought it was the most glamorous job and field I had ever seen, and I thought, wow. I looked at the account executives and I said, I could do that. So I went back and got a degree in marketing, and the rest is history.
And he was a charmer.
Oh, he was. And then I ended up working for Mike, so it's been a great career. I think anybody that loves to work around people and to have something different and new every day and to see people at their best, because most of marketing is fun. I mean, people are having good times and we're promoting good things, so it is a wonderful career path.
So you'd recommend it to young folks?
I would.
What would you tell them in terms of prep?
I would tell them that the first job they get ought to be in sales. I think that media sales is a great opportunity for young people to really learn the marketing business, because when you're a media rep, you often work with small companies and you help them with their advertising plan, and you write copy and you go in and help out the day of the sale, you do whatever's needed. And I think it is a great proving ground to let you really know what's going on. And then now, with social media being such a dynamic part of marketing, I think having a good understanding and working knowledge of that whole social media opportunities is an absolute criteria for being in this industry.
Okay, but this is an industry, I mean, some change a lot, some don't, but this has changed a lot since you began.
Dramatically.
Take me through some of that.
Well, we were talking this morning, you know, it used to be if you did a program like this, you taped it all and then you went in and you snipped and clipped and you edited and you put it together. And now everything is done digitally. So things that used to take 6 or 8 hours now take 30 minutes. From the art perspective, you used to take art out to a client and an artist had sat down and you took sketches, and every time you did revisions you had to go back, and it took 2 or 3 days because you had to go back literally to the drawing boards where that phrase came from. And now it's all digital. I mean, all art is digital. You can email it to them, you can make changes in 15 minutes, and the speed of marketing is just amazing anymore.
Yeah, see, I was on a different side. I was on like budgeting, and initially, at the very beginning, that was Hollerith cards.
Yes.
And then it was, batch processing.
Mm-hmm.
Get one at 3 in the morning and find out what's wrong with it, and then have to resubmit.
Oh yeah, yes.
Tremendous change when it's online, and I can go in, I can make any change I want, whenever I want.
Well, I think the other nice thing for young people is this is a career that once you get involved in it, and if you find that this is your passion, you can go anywhere in the country with it. So people that are wanting to have upward mobility or say, gosh, I want to live in Colorado or I want to live in California, It is a skill set that transfers about anywhere.
Were you ever tempted to leave Wichita?
Yes, I almost went to Dallas. I loved Dallas and had a job opportunity there, and just ended up not wanting to be gone from family. And I love Wichita. I mean, Wichita, talk about things that have changed. Wichita in the last 15 years has just become a whole different city. My kids lived in Kansas City for several years out of college, and when they moved back, they said, we're not moving back to where we grew up. I mean, so I think that is such a compliment to this city, that it's moving forward and doing things, and so it's an exciting place to live. And Dallas, I would have been a very tiny fish in an ocean, and in Wichita you have an opportunity to meet people and to do things that you don't in a big market, so I stayed.
Yep. Well, that's part of the reason I came here from Chicago. You know, somebody said, why would you do that? And I said, well, I'd rather be the captain of a fast frigate than the third mate on a ship of the line, and a rotting ship of the line, thank you.
Absolutely.
So a lot more fun. Other changes besides the digital side?
I think digital and social media has been the two most dramatic changes. I am amazed at the whole social media and internet marketing and everything that can be accomplished there, and how quickly reputations can be made and broken through social media. I think it is. It gives.
We have some famous people who've learned that lesson.
Yes, much wiser people than me, and much more famous than me. But I think that what it has done is it's given John Q. Public a voice that they didn't have before, and they very much use it. Sometimes they whisper and sometimes they shout. And, you know, we have always known that word of mouth is the very best advertising you can get.
Well, we're going to have to stop our word of mouth for just a moment, and we'll be right back with more with Sharon Van Horn. Thank you. Welcome back to KGPT's Wichita's Biz That Is, and our guest today, Sharon Van Horn of Ray Event and Tent. That's the correct name now?
That's the name.
Because I had it backwards in my head before I looked it up again. Talk to us about that. I mean, that's kind of a unique business. I mean, it's not like an advertising agency and things where there, you know, a lot of them have commonalities. Talk to me about that business.
Well, it is fun with a capital F most days. Then there are days that it's not so much fun.
When the sprinklers come on.
Yes. There are things you have to respond to. But the nice thing about the business is that you get to work with people at the high point of their life for some sort of celebration. Whether it's a corporate event, whether it's a wedding, whether it's a nonprofit event. And we are very full service. We very much believe and feel morally responsible that any event we're involved with, that it's our job to make it be the best event it can be, especially if it's a girl's wedding. I mean, you don't mess with a girl's wedding. So we feel like that our little unique selling proposition is that we do a little bit more in customer service. We want to partner. We want to see what you really need. Yes, we can rent you a table and chair and some tablecloths, and we're happy to do that if that's all you need. But if you need somebody to help you find a chef, or help you figure out the layout, or help you find some event people that can help you run the event, or help you design the event, we can do all of that. So we put up big tents and little tents and everything in between. Do
you have weddings at your location too, or are they almost all tent?
They're either at venues around town, or they are in tents that we set up, God only knows where.
Well, with 5 daughters, I've done this routine a little bit.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I'm hopeful that I don't have to go through that anymore.
Well, if you do, I know who can help you.
Yes, I know. But tell me some more about that particular business, because I understand the fun of it, but I'm not sure most people get what all you have to do.
Well, I think the thing that we have found is that people don't understand how much pre-planning it takes for a successful event. So the most surprising thing to us has been people calling 2 days before the event and saying, you know, I need a tent and 20 tables and 150 chairs.
Yeah.
So we really try to encourage people to think ahead, and when we get the call, we kind of go through a set of questions. You know, do you need a caterer? Do you have a caterer? How many people are you going to have? So I think the business itself, there's kind of two sides of it. There is the typical rental business. So we have a huge inventory. We've upgraded our inventory and expanded it since we bought the company a year and a half ago. So that's one side of it. But the other side of it is really event management, sitting down and figuring out how to put things together. You know, do you need lights in the tent? People don't think about if they're having a wedding or an outside event and it's going to be over at 9:30, it's going to get dark in the tent. So we really try to sit down and say, let us help you plan, because we want the event to be as perfect as it can be and feel like we have a responsibility to help make that happen.
Well, you know Judy Wiley.
Yes.
And she is wonderful at those things. And she has her checklists, and she is meticulous about all that. You know, and it's one of the things I don't worry about.
Yes.
I create the event, I create whatever's going on, but I have total confidence that she's going to carry it out.
Well, and I think that a lot of people think that events are just these fun, let's have a great idea and put it together. And
like an old Andy Hardy. Let's
yes,
do a show.
Yes, and we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that has happened, not only in Wichita, but in corporate America, is there used to be event departments or PR departments that could do it all. And now, oftentimes that falls back on an administrative assistant or a person that has 4 other hats that they wear in the company. So we really try to help that, because a successful event is really a very long list that everything is checked off and you don't have any huge surprises. Or if you do have huge surprises, you try to anticipate what those might be and have a plan B available, so that you're not going, oh my gosh, they're going to be here in 30 minutes, now what do we do? Although we have, as you know, done that before.
Well, we have had on our side also a number of times when something happens. You know, the program doesn't show up, the caterer doesn't show up, and it's very interesting trying to pull those irons out of the fire. We've done it every time.
Well, and yes, it is interesting, it is hard, but I think good event planners always try to have in the back of their mind, what if this happens? I mean, you can't anticipate everything, but you and I shared an event where we had sprinklers go off under a tent that we weren't anticipating, and so one of the biggest.
But you guys were working your tails off at 6:30 in the morning, and made it come out looking good.
And we did, and I think that is one of the things we see so many people saying, okay, it happens at 7, so get here at 5, and we're saying, no, if it happens at 7, get there at 3, so if something goes wrong, you have from 3 to 5 to fix it. So I would tell anybody doing an event, add 2 hours to your time frame, because you're going to need it.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the other things you mentioned had to do with people, I would call it manners, this 2 days before. It's unbelievable how many people will call up, you know, like an hour before an event, and is it okay if I come? Well, excuse me, the caterers made their order more than a day ago.
Yes.
You know? How do you deal with it?
Well, I think that one of the things we try to do is, if we can't do it, we tell them. I mean, we will never say, okay, we can do that. We had someone call yesterday, actually at 3, and wanted a tent by 5, and we said, we are sorry, we can't make that happen. So the way—
Give them a virtual tent.
Yeah, we said go inside.
Well, we're going to have to go inside the tent for just a moment, and we'll be back with our last part of Wichita's Biz That Is. Welcome back to Wichita's Biz That Is. I'm Tim Witzman, and our guest today, Sharon Van Horn. And the energy's been flowing, Sharon.
Well,
just
I hope
as I
so.
expected.
This is fun.
Do you see changes in this new business you're in? I mean, do you see things coming? They may not have occurred yet. Do you see that anything's going to be different?
Absolutely. I think that one of the things that Melissa and I found when we went to our first National Rental Association show is there are so many things that we would like to see be available in Wichita that aren't, just because this isn't a big enough market perhaps to have everything in there. So I think that one of the things that I see happening is events are getting even more elaborate. They people
I feel sorry for all the fathers out there.
Well, I know. People are dreaming bigger. I think that one of the things that Wichita is blessed with, although we've had a lot of corporate entities leave, we've still got some great corporate companies here, and they put on wonderful corporate events. And I think as they go and see things, the bar just keeps getting raised higher and higher as to what the expectations are. And I mean, you go to as many charity events as I do, the nonprofits in Wichita put on incredible events.
Yeah, if you've ever seen ours, Judy
Oh,
does that
it's amazing.
for $100.
I know. I mean,
With goodwill and,
yes,
and such. I mean,
yes.
she's so creative and
Right.
so good at all that. Well, yeah, another outfit that's been on this show, Pioneer Balloon. I mean, they get into a lot of that, and some of the things that they do are
my
unbelievable.
Goodness. Pioneer, there is a big trade show every year for people that have promotional products, and Pioneer builds their entire booth out of balloons. It's like a 40 by 60 booth, and the first time I went there, I just said, I'm so proud to be from Wichita. People think they just do little balloons,
Right.
and they do incredible things truly all over the world.
Yep, sophisticated and worldwide.
Yes.
Very interesting. Tell me some more differences between the world you were in, advertising and that sort of thing, and what you're doing now. I know that you're owner. That changes everything.
Right.
But kind of what else is different?
Well, I think the thing that I find is the most different is that when you are in the marketing and advertising sector with a client, you look at their whole picture. You're involved in everything that they're doing. At this point with Ray, we are really more involved just on their event side. So it's not maybe has as deeper roots. One of the things that we've added is a corporate event gift, and we can do apparel because again, that's something that some people don't have any access to know who to call. But I think it's a much more specific business. We work on a project. And when you're in marketing or advertising, typically you work on an annual plan. So we are more project focused than we are
Right, it's more like
overall.
music or performance.
Yes, yeah. Here's when the play's going to happen, and so you work real hard, and then
And
the
it
play's
has to
over,
happen
and it
that
has to
day.
happen. That's right, at that hour.
Uh-huh. So that's fascinating. Are people changing any that you deal with? I mean, do you find people different today than you did maybe when you began?
I think people are smarter. I think that, again, having 24-hour CNN and having everything that goes on in that, and again, as we've talked, the social realm, I think people have, it may not be the right understanding, but a broader understanding of this whole field and what's going on in the world. And I will tell you, we have been impressed since we bought the company and deal a lot with the public. I deal with the public more than I ever have in the last 30 years, is how nice most people are. I mean, it is very seldom that we get someone that is not nice. And if they're not nice, it's typically because they are under so much stress to make something happen. And if you say, what can we do to help? What's the problem here? We love the people aspect of it. They are, I love that. That's probably the thing I like best.
What, as somebody who's now in total charge, what are the frustrations that you run into?
The frustrations are the last minute calls. It's very hard, and people don't understand what it takes to go from placing an order to putting it in the truck and delivering it. So it is very hard for us to have people call a day or 2 days before the event, and we always try to fit them in because they at that point are in a panic mode, and so you don't just want to say, sorry, you should have called earlier. So I think that probably has been one of the biggest challenges.
And don't do that out there.
That's right.
We're already planning for our December. We have two
Yes,
events
yes.
in December.
And I think the other thing is that there's just not enough money to buy everything we would like to buy to be able to rent. Like any company that is a service or a product oriented, I think that you want to have so much stuff and it costs so much money. So we perpetually have to say, okay, is this something that's going to rent multiple times? Is it something that's new to the market? We don't need just to buy 10 more chairs. Is there something new we can bring? And so that balancing of keeping within a realistic budget and finding things that people want that, again, enhance and makes a Ray event the best event is a challenge.
How do people contact you if they need your service?
They can call us. We are on Facebook. We are on...
Go ahead, give the number.
Oh, I can give the number, 263-3931. We are on Facebook. If you just go to Facebook/Ray Rental, we're there. We have a website, rayrental.net. So any of those gets you to us. And then we have a brand new, have only been there 6 months, about a 25 or 30,000 square foot showroom and warehouse, and we're happy to have people come down and look at our inventory, see what we have, look at the showroom. So any way through social media or through the phone, call information, Google us. If you Google us, Google Ray Rental or Ray Event and Tent, or Google what you want to rent, and we will come up.
Well, if you want to have a good time and you want to have it look good, you got to talk to Sharon.
That's right. The perfect party starts here.
Thank you for being our guest today on Wichita's Biz That Is.